moving onwards to our upcoming panel discussion, that is CX in 2030, Orchestrating the Future of CX. Introducing our moderator, Mr. Nawed Zafar, Account Director, South India, Genesys. Mr. Zafar is a seasoned professional with expertise in account and partner-led sales, team building, consultative selling, and managed services across private and public sector organizations in India and SAARC countries. Skilled in C-level relationship management, go-to-market strategy, and international business expansion. I also invite on the dais the fellow panelists, Mr. Sushant Banga, Executive Director of Center of Excellence, Products and Insights at QDegrees Services, Ms. Saraswati Kadel, Director of Digital Transformation at Movate, Mr. Chandra Surbhat, Vice President of Global Head of Digital Experience at Wipro Digital, Mr. Sripad Raj, Director of Products and Digital Engineering Services, Happiest Mind Technologies, Mr. Rakesh Subramanian, Director of UX UI at HARMAN International, and Dr. Karthik Anantaraman, Vice President of International Sales and Marketing at Apollo Enterprises Limited. Over to you, Mr. Nawed.
Thank you so much. So what we're discussing here today is, and our distinguished panel who has got tons of experience in customer experience. So I just want to pick their minds on behalf of you to understand that where the CX is heading to and what are the day-to-day experiences which they have gathered over the years and where they want looking forward to take it forward from here, right? So basically, customer experience has become the key word now. Everybody talks about customer experience supported by AI. Ganesh speaking about Gen BI, so I guess that's also will be the important component of part of a customer experience because it will give you the insight of to what the customer wants, right? So I purely second with what Ganesh had mentioned. And so CX experience is totally a buzzword, but there are lot of stacking blocks which kind of comprises the entire C experience. Now those blocks have to be stacked properly to gain a proper and an optimized customer experience. So today we will spend some time in terms of understanding what my distinguished panel had been doing over the years to kind of drive to achieve a better customer experience, because I feel that customer experience is the secret sauce of a successful business. Do you have a happy customer, you have a happy business. So that's what I feel, and this sauce is very important. So I still feel the customer experience, no matter how big or small, if a customer is if you have a set of happy customers, you will always be have a set of happy employees, happy employers, and the happy company, right? So without any delay, I just wanted to kind of pass on to my distinguished panel. I'll not introduce them. I'd like them to introduce and spend 30 seconds about introducing themselves and what they are doing, and then we'll take forward the discussion. Over to you.
Thanks, Nawed. So I'm Saraswati from Movate. I lead a digital transformation CX platform where we have the aggregation of all the solutions which basically enhances the customer experience. I have almost 20 years of experience into pre-sales and sales, where I'm providing the support and adding the customers into our portfolio. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi everyone, this is Chandra Surbhat. I head the Digital Experience Unit for Wipro. And just as we all hear the buzzword of customer experience, for us the contact center or the digital operations is one of the channel. That's how we view it. It's a continuum. When we think of customer experience, more often contact center was kept as a separate channel outside of the digital interactions that we do or what we influence customer on the digital. We're bringing that contact center also in the ambit of overall customer experience, then puts us with the way in which we can influence the entire end-to-end customer experience. So we look at that. That's what I lead, and happy to be here to talk about our stories around customer experience.
Thank you, Nawed. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sushant Banga. I head COE and digital transformation for QDegrees. It's a CX consulting firm, and we help organizations understand their customer better. We help organizations transform their customer experience into a better experience. I come with about 25 years of experience in customer experience domain, and today we will talk about more about CX around this topic.
Hi everyone, I'm Rakesh Subramanian. I head the experience design practice at HARMAN, an entity of Samsung. My typical job role is really building digital experience solutions that bring in a aha moment for our customers. So that's basically what we do, bringing very innovative and futuristic solutions for our end customers and also for HARMAN International and also for Samsung. So kind of bringing close to 15 years of experience in this industry and happy to be with you guys on this forum. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sripad. Happy to be here. Currently with Happiest Minds, I manage key strategic accounts for Happiest Minds, building them from 0 to N, 1 to completely 0 to 1, 1 to N. In my current capacity, I am in touch with the clients on their day-to-day digital journey, including GenAI and other things. Happy to contribute to this panel.
Good morning, everyone. Glad that I could just make it. Thanks for having me, Dr. Karthik Ananthraman. I run the international business for Apollo Hospitals. Glad to be here. Thank you.
So good. So let me start with Saraswati. So Saraswati, I want to kick off with I want to pick your brains in terms of understanding what does it means to you in terms of CX experience and your experiences on CX as a whole, and where do you see it going forward, say next 5 to 10 years, and what is the trends and the evolutions you're seeing? I just want to kind of throw some light, some generic, and whatever you are experiencing day to day. We were chatting on the sideline, and you were saying that you were doing a lot of things over AI and over customization. So I just wanted to understand and share with all of us here as to what you are doing currently and what do you see future coming in from the near future. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Nawed. So, as I said, right, I had the customer experience platform where we have the solutions for improving the customer experience, and these are segregated, or you can say that they are pillarized into three different segments, where you have customer engagement solutions, active insights and analysis, and then you have the agent amplifications. The solutions which are under customer engagement basically has where the customer can directly engage with the customer, directly engage with the systems. So they don't have to reach out to the live agents or engineers to support. They can actually get all that information and resolve their queries by their own. So those are the customer engagement solutions, be it chatbot, smart IVR, search solutions, or any GenAI related chat GPT solutions. So they fall under customer engagement category. Or
just to interject, when you say customer can choose, if say for example, and I heard Ganesh speaking about that, is if the customer does not know how to choose, then what? How will you navigate the customer in terms of a particular channel?
Yeah. So say for example, a customer wants to purchase a hard drive or take an example of e-commerce industry. Customer wants to purchase something on the from, and customer sees the advertisement on the website or any social media advertisement. So customer will search for that particular brand or the product on the website. So the website should be empowered with all that information, with all the brochures, categories, or product recommendations information, with the images, videos, and everything. So the customer is empowered to go through and guide themselves and provide that, see that information on the websites. So this is the organization responsibility to have the updated information about the product and the services. Then the next is when, how it is like leveraged, right? You have to, there should be some predictive analysis or the insights which will go behind at the back end, because all those information will be done based on how many search has been done on the websites by the customers. So you have to keep updating that information on the websites, so that analytics and insights will go at the back end. And if the customer is not happy, or like even with the self-service solutions, if they are not happy with those information, they can get escalated to the live agents, where you can actually, the live agents can support, or the engineers can support with the additional information, where they can guide the customers how to go about it, and help them to provide, or like they can help them go browse and purchase the solutions. Thank you.
Great. So I would transfer that question to you also, because you are from the healthcare industry, and we have been talking about, and we will be talking about experience, and typically it goes into consumer and all. I wanted to add the perspective of healthcare from your point of view, that how do you kind of address the healthcare customer experience to your patients or your parties? How do you do that? I mean, what are the strategies you build over it?
Sure. No, that's a great question. And in healthcare, as you know, possibly unlike many other industries, our customer is a patient, and a patient is actually in pain. So they have a medical problem. It's not really a good situation to be in. So for us, marketing is not about marketing what we do, what services we offer, what kind of expert doctors do we have, what technologies do we have. You would have seen many advertisements from hospitals that we have a 256 like CT scanner. But in my mind, so what? What does it mean, right? So for us, the way how we are really approaching the market is empathy, because what the patient is looking for from us is empathy. So therefore, what we have done, I think, just taking a cue from the previous speaker, we have a team of what we call customer relationship or patient relationship managers. This is a modified version of what typically one used to call center in the past. It's not essentially a call center, because these are people who are trained to do patient counseling. So they have basically been trained to, one, of course, demonstrate empathy when a patient is calling us or putting in an email query that, look, this is my medical condition, I'm looking for a medical response. So basically, first what they receive is basically a call, and these people listen to the patient in a very patientful manner, and then they understand what exactly is the patient looking for. And then what we come up with is customized advice that, look, for this problem, this is what we feel is the right solution. That solution is available with this particular doctor, and if you wish, we can fix up an appointment for you. And that's customization is what many of our patients have, started to value a lot. The second important thing is, a lot of times we see in the FM radio, if you switch on any channel today, you will see hospitals across Bangalore having their doctors to come and talk about heart disease, World Heart Day, that day, this day, we can do this procedure, that procedure. Again, is that the way of marketing? So we looked at, okay, let's have satisfied patients, happy patients. A satisfied patient will actually talk to more people in patient support group and get us more patients. So therefore, we have tried to enhance the voice of patients based on clinical outcome. Not by number of patients we treat, not by the number of degrees our doctors have, not by the revenue we make every year. So I think those are the changes that we have tried to consciously make in the past about 2-3 years, which has been started to work for us. This we do in an omni-channel format, both digitally as well as offline.
Great. I think that was a... But I just want to interject here with another point is, I understand you have a patient counselor, advisor, and patients reach out and say, for example, patient's family wants to reach out for an ambulance service or blood work or CT scan appointments or whatever it is, how Apollo as an organization is enabling with technology to kind of facilitate that seamlessly without interacting with anyone.
No, wonderful. I think very timely. So we have the Apollo 24/7 app. It is the most downloaded healthcare app in South Asia. And we do close to around 15 million transactions on the app on a monthly basis. It has an integrated pharmacy, it has an integrated lab solution, and it has an integrated 24/7 consultation services from our doctors, all three in one. So basically, sequentially, if you look at a patient journey, the patient would first like to consult a doctor. So you can pick and choose the doctor. We've also introduced the concept of healthcare consumerism in it, like how today if you book, if you buy something from Amazon or Flipkart, you can rate the quality of the product. Likewise, you book a restaurant on maybe Dine Out or something, you can rate the restaurant as to how good they were.
And we all refer to that.
We all refer to that. Now, on our app, you can actually see rating of our doctors. So you can pick and choose the doctor that you wish to see, basis the rating of the quality of the services he or she has rendered. And then after the consultation, it generates an online prescription. The prescription will typically have two things in it. It will have medicines that one needs to take. And prior to medicine, if there are specific investigations to be done, it will have investigations written as well. So investigations immediately move into the investigations cart where we have Apollo Diagnostic Centers listed on it. You can click and order for the test. A phlebotomist will come home with a prefixed appointment, collect the blood sample, stool sample, tissue sample, send it to the Apollo lab, get it, test it. Then the reports are generated online, updated on the same app for the patient to see. It goes back to the same consulting doctor, and the doctor gives the prescription of the medicine. The medicine goes to the Apollo pharmacy, and the pharmacy delivers home. So that's how we've integrated the complete customer experience on a single app, and now we have Amazon to actually run our tech backend now. So that's the partnership between Apollo and Amazon.
That's great to hear, heartening. So I'll move on to the next panelist, Chandra. So Chandra, you had been talking and you introduced yourself to be the champions on the CX or the contact center pieces. I would want to ask you that what is the evolution of a contact center which has been from the past 5 years, and is a contact center anymore? Is it much more than that? And if yes, then what are the aspects of taking it to the next level for now and maybe in the future, near future?
Sure. A good question. And if you think of contact center, it was kept as a channel where whatever you can't solve digitally in the current context of the last 3-4 years of digital evolution, it's basically anything that you didn't want to solve or you didn't solve or you felt the end customer can't solve themselves on a channel, then contact center is a fallback. And contact center has always been viewed as a cost, and it's an inevitable channel. And once it's viewed as a cost and more of an operational efficiencies was the single biggest focus. How can I have less agents? How can I have more and more faster resolution or average handling time? Reduce the cost of the agent? Where do I find the low cost locations for the overall cost to be brought down? Very little attention was paid from a customer standpoint. It was most to do as a cost, as something of that you need to live with, and something that you can do as less cost as possible. While the digital channels kept on enhancing, and we talk about frictionless journeys in digital channel, the customer journey, the customer experience, and a great example of in a patient's construct, a super app, for example. I would call that as a super app where the entire journey is mapped onto the mobile app. All of these evolutions continued on the digital channel, and the journeys were reimagined. The customer had a choice of jumping journeys and picking up different channels. The experience continued, the context continued, the personalization continued. But now when they switch to a contact center, it completely changes. And it was start all over again, every point in time, to a different agent, whether it's a live agent or any other assisted agents. So that's the first part of what we call as contact center. In fact, today, the phrase to use is the contact center is dead or contact center shouldn't exist. Now, what does it mean? Contact center will always exist, but the nature in which it exists today has to be relooked. The nature of existence of it as a cost center should be relooked at something of an experience center and a profit center. And the contact center agent or a call into a contact center need not be viewed as a problem statement. It's not, it has to be looked at every single call. Of course, do the analytics, look at what are your top 5 or 10 call patterns that you get. Can you shift that to a different digital channel? Your customers would like it. If they can see a self-service model, if they can see a digitally easier app way or a digital channel way, they would also like it, you would also like it as an enterprise. But view it as customer experience first, not as a cost takeout. Cost takeout is an inevitable byproduct. And when you start looking at the journey as a continuum from digital channel to a contact center channel, then the whole dimension of contact center will change. You will then make it more and more shift off the contact center transactions to your digital channels more effectively. Also equip the agents more effectively. That's what I would call the next phase. Your agent desktop, they need to have the same context and they need to have the same insights about the customer, 360 degree about the customer, or the different analytics about the customer, so that when a call comes and you could have, there could be a deflection strategy with your AI, chatbots and everything else that can assist the customer more intelligently. Or eventually, even if an agent picks up, agent can solve the first time. With all of those, GenAI can assist them with the context, with the next best action, pull up every single data that they need about the customer. Or even if it's not resolved the first time, it can trigger an automated case, and the responses to that automated case as it gets settled can be shifted back to your digital channel. So that the customer is not necessarily held captive to the contact center on a continuous basis. It's an inevitable call that comes, solved first time, or subsequently the journey can be transferred to a digital channel. So I see these things where contact center seen as a cost center and sort of a burden, shifting that as a profit center, as an experience center, as a continuum of your digital, and keeping customer experience at the front of it, and seeing these as a continuum is a big differentiation. And that's where next, with that thinking, all your AI, GenAI, immersive, AR, VR, different technologies can be a good, supportive parts to this sort of a transformation. But that mindset shift is a first start.
That's interesting. And AR, VR, we were discussing in the side chat, and I'll come back to that on a much detail and a wider scope. I want to quickly jump into Rakesh. So Rakesh, as Sushant was saying, was about contact center, the experiences and all those things. I want to enhance that to further in terms of, is contact center still a contact center, or we call it an experience center, number one. And number two is, how do you kind of take an omni-channel approach to a CX experience, or CX, the entire CX journey? How do you take the omni-channel and add to that so that it no more feels as a contact center, which is erstwhile, right, quote unquote? And how does it changes now, and what is going forward?
Thanks for the question. So probably I'll just take the second question first, then I'll move to the contact center part. See, today, I guess we are in a phase where all the organizations are going through different type of innovation. Say, this could be your emotional innovation, the first thing where you are interacting with your client. There's a lot of emotional connect to the brand. If you kind of really fail, as per the stats, almost 60 to 70% of your customer is lost in the first interaction that what you're going to have with your client or your prospective customer. So then it kind of really gets into more of process innovation, business innovation, and a people-driven innovation kind of a model. So I guess it's more a vicious circle where how are we integrating all this omni-channel experience into one blended approach. So that is what is going to be the key driver in which how we are changing the experience for our customers. If you're just going to kind of give a bot, for an example, It's going to definitely ask 10 different questions and you're going to answer 10 different answers. And definitely it's not a delightful experience for me today. So rather I would just kind of move to a cobalt, more like a Copilot kind of an integration where it really understands who you are, what your needs are, what your aspirations are, and it kind of really gives you more a curated kind of a very personalized kind of an experience or a solution to the problem that what you're trying to seek with the actual agent that what you're trying to interact with. I feel those are the kind of a moments where the customers are looking for today rather than building very age-old or outdated kind of an experience. So that's one. So today, like we're not definitely speaking to robots. We are just speaking to humans. I feel that is the core center in which entire, like whatever our business or the way how we are envisioning our service models has to blend with. So building a CX maturity model is need of the hour, which is going to be blended with data, definitely heavily with data. I would say more a data-driven kind of an approach, integrating with your CRMs, which has so much of beautiful kind of use cases and features that you need to enhance. So this could be as simple as your SMS that you kind of get on time when you're onboarding a flight or something. Makes a world of a difference rather than I opening an app, getting into checking my flight status, which gate I need to get in and all. So I feel there was a classic example in the healthcare also. So I was talking about how Apollo was changing the dynamics in the way how the patient experience is today. In fact, I've been one of the user of the same thing. When I was ill, when the medicines came to my door, it was a different experience for me. So probably these are the kind of experience like we like at HARMAN DTS, that's the digital wing of HARMAN International where I belong to, where we build such experience for across industries. So this could be your healthcare, your industrial communications, like in no like in matter, like almost we are pretty much there. So what we're trying to do here is the touch point innovations. Say example, there is a touch point where like the call center is just one of the touch points. So like this, there are multiple like probably when you're shopping on Amazon, during your like in terms of your the conversion part when you're paying your bills or whatever, that particular credit card transaction, that is one touch point. So how are we innovating each and every touch point in this CX maturity model is going to be the game changer for our brand. So I feel we really need to focus on, yes, tools, all these are just enablers, but how are we integrating with our product is going to be the differentiator what a brand can actually bring in a lot of value to the customer. I guess loyalty is going to be the big quotient. Rather, if I just want to book a flight today, am I going to a brand A or a brand B or brand C? But why am I going to brand C? Because it just doesn't book my ticket. But after I book my ticket and I land in a foreign land, it helps me to kind of curate, okay, which restaurants I need to go and eat kind of a good food, being a foodie myself. So what kind of places that I can visit. So it is just not the flight ticket that you're booked. It is the extended services and the value added things that what you're kind of giving your customer is something that we really need to curate as a part of our journey mapping exercise. So today there are so many customer orchestration softwares available, your CDP platforms are available. I feel these are like, will help you to kind of really synergize this experience. But in a way, how are we bringing a customer first kind of an approach is kind of going to be the need of the hour. So this could be blended into any of your service model, your call centers, your live bots, your virtual agents. So probably these are the things. Say example, also just want to touch upon the last thing is a legacy brand example which is existing 100 years in the industry today. And I just need to talk to a Gen Z. Like I remember the days when I used to play video games and they were like we never had such sophisticated video games at least 20 years before. But I still remember the brands which were showcasing when I was playing a football match. Like, so these are the same things which are converting into your Vision Pro and your HoloLens and all your metaverse kind of a world today. So I feel bringing or connecting or bridging these legacy brands into the Gen Z kind of a world is also a need of the hour, which kind of brings in that omni-channel experience. So omni-channel is going to be very broad by its own version, because you will be connecting with your mobile, your desktop, your touch devices. You kind of pass on your beacon technology can detect who you are or where you are, and it can kind of send you personalized notification to your WhatsApp. For an example, you're in a mall. if there is a Adidas kind of a showroom there, it can really detect where you are and kind of send you a push notification today. So I guess this experience is very rich, but how are we making these experience more exclusive to the customer is going to be the game changer. So that's pretty much for me, yeah.
Thank you. Sushant, I'll quickly jump onto you for a quick comment on what he said, right? And you have been a CX consultant and talking to multiple customers. Do you feel the same trend in terms of what these two gentlemen has just spoken about?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think one of the major point which he's touched upon is the loyalty. Now, if the customer is loyal to a brand, has to be multiple reasons for that. Reaching out to the brand is one of it. How to reach out to the brand, um, and I'll share one experience. We as a consultant get queries for different products and services, and we provide one of the major services which provide is know your customer by doing multiple ground level insightings and voice of customer programs and other voices which we bring in and we give back to the management. Now, those helps brand to understand their customer better and prepare their strategies how to reach out to those customers. And these, I was touching on that point. Out of 5 queries which we receive, one of those nowadays is about from marketing tech functions, which want to understand their customers more. Now, there are evolved brands which have everything, which know everything about their own customers, but there are a lot of B2B brands, there are a lot of SMEs who also want to understand their customers more. What are their voices and how to utilize the existing ecosystem they have of CRM, of DMS, of inventory management, and bring everything together to communicate back to the customer. So that trend is changing. Like evolved brands already have most of that available and which they utilize. Like Amazon utilize these customized services and recommendations for the brands, for their customers. Similarly, the emerging brands are also getting into that era where they want to understand their customers more. They want to do VOCs. They want to know everything about their customers so that strategies like these can be created. The omni channels can be used even more effectively. One of the questions you asked initially that how would you ensure that your customer is utilizing your touch point effectively? So it's more important for us to know your own customers than to reach out effectively to the customer.
So, Sripad, I was saving you for the last, so because I have something and I was discussing with you with the sideline and I got very interested on that and I wanted to share with the audience as well. I wanted to ask you in terms of hyper-personalization of the entire experience using analytics and in the AI era, the AI. Now, the word hyper personalization looks very fancy, but okay, I want you to break down in terms of what do we mean about hyper personalization, which we have been talking and using various tools of AI, every other tools we are using to kind of gain a better mileage with the customer, like what Sushant said, that it is voice of customers and so on and forth, trying to capture all the channels which the customer are engaging on, right? So I wanted to understand you, how do you kind of tie up this entire thing and present it for a better visibility of business?
Thanks, Nawed. It's interesting that the conversation about a customer has moved from engagement to experience. That itself is a personalization. So a couple of years ago, we would hear hue and cry about privacy and all the other bits. Now, that is not there. So now, this has changed largely because of a Six Sigma event called GenAI. So if you go back in the history, Six Sigma events are the ones which has changed the world the way we see it. Be it the industrial revolution, maybe invention of internet in itself, then moving from physical films to digitization films where it changed the whole photography industry, then invention of smartphones. Even blockchain, we did not call it a Six Sigma event, but GenAI is. The fact is that technology, Gen AI in itself, is not a standalone. It sits on already existing technologies which the organization have been investing in for personalization. Be it your data lakes, data warehousing, analytics, COE, all those things, AI comes and sits on top of it. Now, that is what is going to change the overall experience. From a layman user perspective, they have been experiencing from a bot interaction and summarization perspective, but I have to tell you, being in the technology industry, this exercise has been happening for close to half a decade or more. There are B2B use cases where AI has been in picture and it has been creating value additions. Now that it has come in the front, it is going to literally make it a buzzword and it is going to change. And beautiful presentation by Ganesh earlier on this, where he clearly spoke about Gen AI to Gen BI, but in the next couple of years, it is going to be democratized AI and responsible AI. The reason that it is important is, while we are talking about, let's take healthcare, it's not just about me getting personalized data and reports and other things. How do you ensure that that is kept private to me and my counselor, not being used for some other thing? Even if used, is it anonymized? So along with that, we also see countries and regions coming up with the local GDPR equivalent laws also. So for a conglomerate or an organization which is spread across multiple regions, how do you ensure your data sovereignty is in place? This is from an organization perspective. All these things, what it leads to is a very enhanced customer experience, which also brings to the point of what these gentlemen were saying about stickiness to the customer, loyalty-based customer. Your data residing, you know that you're going to stick on to a provider who honors your privacy, who also gives you personalized experience, then your stickiness enhances. So end of the day, customer experience led by AI is going to be the buzzword for the next decade at least.
Great, thank you. Now, I want to run around the panel for 30 seconds, your comment as to customer experience 5 years from now. 30 seconds.
It's going to be AGI. I'm looking forward to AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. It's going to enhance it in a way which is not seen today. It will touch everybody's life in any form that is there, including farmers. I'm talking about that far.
My perspective is it's going to be heavily personalized, will be driven by the LLMs that are going to drive us crazy. So I guess we need to be really watchful of what we're trying to do, but definitely you are getting watched. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It would be more personalized and curated experiences, which will rule the industry.
Yeah, the battle of personalization and privacy, and of course it will get more and more immersive, and so that the barriers between digital, physical will become broken. Physical will become more digital, digital will become more physical in the way it operates.
I second AGI. So it would be more of AGI and seamless and personalized experience across all the channels.
Dr. Karthik, you are in a very niche segment, so
Maybe I'll articulate from the perspective of a patient. So I'm going to say my health outcome my way. We've started that as what we, in simple words, we've started in our cancer segment today, what is called personalized cancer care. It's just the very beginning of what it is. We've started it in managing breast cancer and managing lung cancer today, but it's going to extend into many, many other areas also.
Good. So I am running out of time. So I just wanted to, I have another topic to discuss, but I don't want to take time now. I wanted to throw open the floor for questions, and if you have any, please, to the panelists. Yeah, I see a lot many hands coming up. Can somebody give a mic to them, please?
Hi, I'm Manjunath from Winmore India. My question to the panelists are, even customer experience has certain costs associated with it. So when it comes to customers, there are a lot of segmentations within the customers, that who is worth to invest more to give the best customer experience. Not everybody needs to have the same level of experiences to be catered to. Now, with all the advent of technologies that you all mentioned, I want to get your perspective in the sense that what are those metrics or what are those points based on which the customer experiences can be segmented to different levels of customers?
Maybe I'll just take that question. So there is always a rate card attached to all the activity that you're doing. So there's an CapEx, there's an OpEx for each and every conversion that you do for an organization. So there is an investment. So I feel definitely there are multiple KPIs that are going to define that conversion. So this could be your click-through rates, your conversions, your plus, probably the KPIs can go on and on. So I feel definitely there is a cost attached to it, but I feel with the advent of all the AI stuff that's coming into the market, which is definitely going to help you to narrow down on your costs. Definitely it's going to help you to understand there is no X amount which is required, probably Y is enough for you to actually touch base on the experience that you want to get. So those models will definitely help you out here.
I think you will also go very sharper differentiation in terms of what segments you want to handle in which channel, and at what point in time, what channel is most effective for you. So there's contact center also. If a live agent could be differentiated to which segments of personas of customers that you want to switch to a live agent, or even if you don't start with a live agent, at what point in time the transaction gets more expensive in terms of reputation, in terms of other implications, even if it's not a first choice for live agent, that don't show the same AI chatbot continuously to a frustrated customer, shift that when the cost increases for you eventually back to a live agent or anything else. So it's a continuous evolution of personas, of customer journeys, and then your channel costs and optimization.
See, this is something that we face on a day-to-day basis. Clients come up to me and say, okay, Gen AI, I want to use it, without knowing the backward implications of the cost and other bits, right? So day-to-day real problem. I would suggest this in two ways. One is, as he rightly said, persona-driven. And also the chair was talking about outside in and inside out approaches of how do you manage your customer experience, right? So identify the personas where you're actually hitting the larger mass and also generating the equal amount of revenue. And if you are starting your journey as of today, I would say take it slow, because the first mover advantage, you're not going to get it. Gen AI or be it technologies that we're talking about is not a standalone thing. It is sitting on top of the investment that you already made, the data which are already lying in there, right? So you need to completely envision the whole journey that you're going to do, which will eventually change every 6 months now. Within every iteration of 3.5 or the Llama or anything which is coming out, things are going to change. So go through the consulting process, discovery process as to where do you think the sweet spot lies, and then augment it over a period of time.
I just want note to add, also organizations do something like an ideal customer adoption models. So probably what will sell for whom and how we need to sell. So probably that is also one add-on.
Yes, please. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hi. I'm Vandana Jindal. I'm from Kindle, which is a spin-off of IBM. And I'm the Employee Experience Leader and Director of Engineering and Digital Workplace Services. So now I think you started by saying that better customer experience leads to better employee experience. I beg to differ. I think better employee experience leads to better customer experience. Right?
I also second that too.
Yes. So I agree with everything that our esteemed panel said. So what I want to ask is, what are you doing to enhance the employee experience at your organization so that they can give a better customer experience to your customers?
I think what you said is also happens to be my company's motto: happiest people, happiest customers.
Exactly.
Right? So I totally agree with you. So as again quoting the chair where he spoke about outside and inside out approach, it is imperative that we treat everybody as a customer. It's a persona in the overall ecosystem that we're talking about, right? So you read a recent case study where Amazon, the walk-in, walk-out stores were not actually walk-in, walk-out stores. The back office in India was actually punching in the barcodes and getting the billing done. That is not a good user experience. It's not good for the employees. From an inside-out perspective, it is not going to be a sustainable model. Yes, to totally agree to your point, it is imperative. Your internal engines, how you are going to package your offerings. See, end of the day, everything leads to, and be it the bot model or anywhere it is, it's going to be SLA driven. Because all these products, what they are doing is end of the day increasing the efficiency and bringing in a better customer experience. In order to do that, unless you adopt those orchestration or anything else internally, it is not going to help. It will be there, it will come, maybe it will come in the second schedule, but first thing is Gen AI is going to be on the outside in facing, inside out will eventually happen as an augmentation. That's my take.
And not just SLA, we need to bring in XLAs, right? Experience level agreement.
Absolutely.
Because SLAs are only quantitative.
Absolutely.
We have to look at the quality of experience.
No doubt about it, yeah.
I guess just to add on, see, this is like from an employee experience standpoint, it's like hiring till retiring. Like, so I guess it's a long journey. Like once we onboard the employee till he retires from the organization, there's a kind of a big value curve that we need to really resonate with. So I feel bringing these touch points, like it could start from your onboarding exercise. Today we see in the LinkedIn, hey, I got this gadget, I got my bag, got my mouse, and all this are might look very trivial, but these are the Josh moments what as an employee I really rejoice because the organization really values me. Like that's one. Second, this could be your Teams call. I guess all of us are day in, day out, at least spend 10 hours a day on your Microsoft Teams and all these stuffs. So there is always a manager or there is always a head of the unit would be a part of any of your call. There is always a person who will be dominating that discussion, right? So how are we kind of bringing a different blend to the actual applications which are kind of getting built today? In terms of just an idea, example, you can plug your like who was dominating in the call or something like that. So probably you just give a scale, a rating scale after the call is over. So in terms of the emotional level in the call, so some calls are very soft, sweet, and it's kind of enjoyable. Some are very rash. Probably there are escalations. The tone of the voice really goes up, down, and all. So how are we really changing the product experience today? So these are the things we really need to look into. It's not just a like a mechanical product what we're building. Two people are talking to each other. No, so that's not customer experience. It's about the tone of voice. What is the empathy quotient in that call? What is the level of discussion? What was happening? So today, I'm happy that Copilot is kind of giving you all your meeting notes and all that. But Copilot really can do a lot more. That's my version. The tone of voice, the empathy quotient to it. Like, does everyone got a chance to speak in these meetings? So who was actually, so if these things, data points can be shared along with the meeting notes within, after the meeting, like as Copilot does, shoot, your meeting is over, like 10 minutes, it describes everything and just kind of sends you out. With all these data points also, if could change, the way of conversations within the organization itself will change. It's a cultural change. I feel that's exactly what we need to envision as product leaders here.
So I'll take last question, and the last panel is here. You can do a networking. Yes, please.
Yeah, Vinay from ITC again, and I would echo ma'am's thought. We at ITC have designed concepts keeping in mind that ESAT is directly proportional to CSAT, and that is what has led us to the overall highest CSAT score across our competitors. So my question is for Nawed and for all the panelists, that how can an individual's social media mannerisms could play a role in channelizing their own user and customer experience, and at the same time, other than the Article 21 or the Data Security Act of 2023, how can the companies ensure that there is not too much personalization or too much hyper personalization, where yes, as I mentioned earlier, it will help us coming out of the choice paralysis, but it will not enforce us their algorithm based choices?
I think your first part of the question in terms of the behavior in the social media channel, very, very, very key important to kind of determine a profile of a customer, a persona, not a customer, I'll say persona, right? And based on that, there can be several strategies which can be built behind the scene to kind of address the need or approach the customer in the various shape and sizes, right? So, having said that, today we are all exposed in this internet world. We are all exposed to each other in digitally. I mean to say, digitally we are all exposed to each other, and it's not rocket science that I can profile any customer or any one of you sitting in the room by seeing your digital footprint, right? Now, if I can do that, why can't I build a strategy of your digital footprint behind that in terms of getting a meaningful output or a meaningful strategy to kind of address whatever you are looking for? Let's say, for example, you are into cars and you do short videos in YouTube and Facebook shots on various cars, and those data can be valued data for people who are selling automobiles, right? In terms of that you are interested and you are a keen automotive enthusiast, and you can be a potential buyer. That's it. Anyone else you want to add? I think there are a lot many inputs here.
I think we are running short on time, but just want to add one last point to personalization. There is, I mean, it is, we can use multiple tools and we can use multiple strategies, but there are times commonsensical things which can come into picture. We as individuals do a lot of digital transactions. So cashless transactions by 2027,000 will touch 100 crores a day in India. And after that transactions, the only two voices, we received payment of, or Amitabh Bachchan saying, Devi or Sajano Dhanyavad. That runs in subconscious mind, right? Yeah, so it runs in subconscious mind, and the messages which after that which comes are from either from the bankers or from the UPI team. Nobody looks into it, and you know there are hundreds of messages which comes, but there is one bank which I have gone through my personal experience, which tells me, "Hey Sushant, hope you had a wonderful stay at Taj. You made a payment of 10,000 rupees." Now, this is a personalization. And nobody, even I mean, I may not be looking all those messages, but this message I may look at it. It is addressing me, talking about what I have done recently, and it is not coming from the merchant. They are not asking me for any experience. It's a transactional message, which is any which ways RBI has mandated it has to go, but that can be personalized. So we are not overboarding, and we are still utilizing the same platforms which to communicate to the customer in a personalized way will certainly lead to a better experience.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. I think we have overrun the time. We have heard three bells. They're warning us to get off the stage. But these gentlemen are here. Please do spend your time, or whatever questions you have, please reach out to them. They'll be amongst us only. So please reach out to them for any further questions. Thank you so much. You are a lovely audience. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot to all the panel members for sharing your thought on the topic CX in 2030, orchestrating the future of CX. To do the honors, I request Ms. Mamta Banerjee, Director of Business Performance at Epsilon, to please join us on the dais. Starting with Mr. Nawed Zafar. Now Mr. Sushant Banga from QDegrees. Ms. Saraswati from Movate. Mr. Chandra Surbhat from Wipro Digital. Mr. Sripad Raj from Happiest Mind Technologies. Mr. Rakesh Subramanian from HARMAN International. And Dr. Karthik Anantharaman from Apollo Healthcare Enterprises.